So today we're talking short game, we're talking chipping and pitching around the greens. And there's a very, very good chance that you've been chipping the wrong way your whole golfing life. We're going to show you exactly why, and more importantly, the correct way to hit those shots. So thank you once again for joining me here at the Forest of Arden. As you can see from the title of the video and obviously the location we're at, we're talking short game and we're talking chipping or pitching. Now, obviously the title of the video suggests that you might have been chipping the wrong way your whole life. As you can surely imagine, I don't actually know that, I don't know your game, but this is based on some research that I did recently, and we're going to cover that a little bit as we go through this video. Just before we get started, if you are new to my channel, if you're not a subscriber, I would love you to be part of my channel. It is free, there's a subscription link, I should say, down in the description box below. There's also a clickable link at the end of the video. So if you follow me on Instagram, you may well have recently noticed I've been posting some golf questions, trying to gauge what golfers out there, you know, their knowledge is of the game, what they're trying to do, maybe what they struggle with, what their ideas are, because it helps me as a coach, you know, understand what people are trying to do. I posted a question, I'll put up a link here so you can see, about a short game shot. So I described the shot, it was a kind of 20-yard shot off a tight lie with a 56 degree wedge. And I basically asked the question of, if we hit this golf shot correctly, where should the golf club hit the ground, or where should the golf club first make contact with the ground? And I gave you some numbered options there. Now, by far, the most common answer to that question was number 4, closely followed by number 5. And I had quite a few responses to that, so it was a good sort of sample size, if you like. So 4 and 5 are both target side of the golf ball. So those golfers are believing that we should hit the ball and then we should hit the ground. Now, if I was standing here with a 7-iron trying to hit this as a full swing, that would be absolutely correct. But when I'm hitting a short shot from this distance, we don't need that same interaction with the ground. And that's the way the golf clubs are designed. We need the golf club to interact with the ground in a better way. So if you have ever hit any shots around the greens that are a little bit like this, a thin through the back, or you feel like you're struggling with strike, you may be hitting the ball heavy like this, there is a very good chance that it can be due to just simply the concepts that you have. What are you trying to do when you hit these shots? So let's quickly go through a technique from here. So I'm setting myself up here and we're talking about, I say, a tight lie, looking to hit the ball on a mid-flight. So just a normal shot. We're not really trying to hit the ball particularly high, particularly low. I'm sure we can agree that when we make a back turn, the club's going to work up into the air by some amount. So the golf club is going to be working, therefore, back towards the ground. It's going to be heading towards the ground. When I finish my golf swing, as I'm sure you can agree, the club's going to be much higher again. So what creates this downward movement and what creates this upward movement? Well, the upward movement, so from the ground upwards, is due to the fact that my lead shoulder is moving away from the ground. The flex that was in my knees is starting to reduce. The forward bend that I had, I'm starting to move that away. So you can see that those movements start to move the club up away from the ground. Now, if I'm trying to hit the ground after the ball, so maybe it's sort of here, those movements aren't going to be particularly useful to me. The shoulder moving up, I'm probably not going to do that. Taking the knee flex, straightening out, I'm not going to do that. Taking my forward bend and taking it towards extension, I'm not going to do those things because those things are going to move my club away from the ground. And we've established that these golfers believe that the club should hit the ground after the ball. So that's why we see so many golfers where they don't rotate, they stay too much in the shot to get that club to go down towards the ground. The hands and the grip, they are driving those towards the ground. So what happens is we get lots of swings like this, where you can see how I'm pushing everything down towards the ground. Now, I've only got to hit the ground a couple of times and hit poor shots for my brain to kick in and go, every time I hit the ground, it's a bad shot. So therefore we think, well, I don't want to hit the ground. Then we start to see the arms flexing because the arms are trying to miss the ground. And so we get no rotation and the arms kind of pulling up. That was an impressive top, wasn't it? So it's so common to see golfers around the greens doing this. You know, staying down, arms bending, top of the ball. It's never going to end well. What should we be trying to do? Well, very simply, we should be trying to create a nice neutral setup where the ball is in the middle of my stance. My weight is fairly neutral. I'm trying to move the club on a nice wide arc, which means I'm not going to kind of hinge my wrists particularly soon. I'm going to contact the ground about where the ball is, maybe just before, and rotate through. So I'm really working on my pivot through the ball. I feel like I'm getting taller, extending my body, rotating to face the target. The golf club is going to react. I'm probably not going to reach the flag on this shot. I'm going to hit it a little bit short of the flag, but I'm going to rotate back, hit the ground early, and then pivot through. My golf club there would have made contact just before the golf ball, but the shot was fantastic. It was great. It was well flighted. It was well struck. It had lots of spin. I pivoted correctly through. That's the best way for me to hit these golf shots. Now, because we have to hit the ground marginally before the ball, I can spin the ball if I get a really tight lie, because there's not going to be much between the club and the ball. So the next question would be, how do these golfers that we see on TV spin the ball so much? Because the surfaces they play on are fantastic. They play on really tight fairways. If you play on a golf course where maybe the fairways are like the rough somewhere else, you're not going to spin the golf ball. But we still need that technique to be present. So don't think about hitting the ground after the ball. Think about hitting the ground before the ball, but doing it with this nice wide arc, lots of rotation through, and the contact with the ground will be useful. You will get much better consistency, you'll get much better results, your bad shots won't be anywhere near as bad, and you can start to really elevate your chipping to the next level. So if you were one of those golfers who believed that the club should make contact with the ground after the ball, hopefully this video has explained exactly why that wouldn't be the best thing to do, and we've maybe given you some ideas on how you can take that forward and improve a little bit on your short game. Thank you so much for watching, really appreciate that. If you do not follow me on Instagram, I will pop a link here that allow you to do that, because I'm really trying to put a lot more content out there to get your feedback on your impressions of the game and how we can take your game forward and help you play some better golf this year. Thanks for watching. We'll see you again soon.